Hello and welcome to the Winning Agendas coverage of the International Twilight Struggle League. My name's Jesse Marshall and I'm here with a game against Bananalee. I'm actually running a little bit late for this game, so I've got to say sorry to Benjamin. Hopefully soon either way, although that probably means that it won't go well for me if we're done early. But anyway, let's have a look at this hand while we have some time. So we're going to not set up any unconventional ways, I don't think, even though we have Marshall Plan. Although, if Marshall Plan is going to be our headline, I mean, obviously setting up for Marshall Plan headline does give some information away, and it means that they get a pretty good read that they have a defect is free headline. But I don't think so they don't have SOCGov, which is good because it means they can't just invite Yugoslavia into Italy by SOCGoving us out and then just moving in with influence. So they're going to have to coup. We're going to overprotect Italy nonetheless, because I think it's more important, particularly if we're going sort of all in here, to do that. So yes, let's go like that, and then headline Marshall Plan. Yeah, we just really don't want to get couped out of Italy after opening with Marshall Plan. We also don't want to get blockaded, so we're going to hold socialist governments and hope that they don't have Red Scare. If they have Red Scare Purge, we are in a lot of trouble to blockade, and we're in a lot of trouble generally because if they have Red Scare and blockade, we're also going to fight to get back in. It's not blockade, but we're not going to UN intervention coup with socialist governments early in the term because we just don't want to get blockaded here. So we're going to overprotect UK, I think. Let's think this through though, actually. Overprotecting UK is nice because you get that additional protection for special relationship from Suez Crisis, but I think taking the Mediterranean country is probably pretty good here anyway. So a decoal headline for the Soviets is never good. It's slightly less of a problem for the US when you get to have France, because it makes the Algeria influence less impactful. But we're still going to have to, with no Indo-Pakistani war, we're going to have to fight pretty hard to try and either take some risks in Asia, depending on what happens with the Iran coup, if we can even get access at all, so we'll see what happens here before we start talking. Okay, so not great, particularly since we have 2-up cards. I'm just not going to take the risk with the socialist government's coup. So what we need to think about now is what we do in terms of coupping. So we can coup Lao to almost certainly get in, but then we can pretty easily get couped back out of there. But I do still think that's a pretty good coup. It doesn't degrade DEFCON, but it means that if they coup us back in Laos, we can still coup Thailand. If they take Thailand, then we can move up towards the other West Asian countries. So I think I'm going to do that. And I think I'm going to... Do we want a UN intervention, NASA, or AI war? I think we probably want a UN intervention, AI war this turn. Or we want to hold UN intervention, actually. We'll think about that. Let's go with the Cambridge 5 first. Okay, this is pretty good as a start. Because getting into Asia and possibly cutting off their access to, well, probably not because they've got Iran, but considering the low ops in our hand, the chances of us successfully getting influence into Iran, which would be the main thing that we wanted to do, not just kicking them out, but actually getting our influence there, we were going to have to roll a 5. And I really don't like 1 in 3 odds. It's like, Indo-Pakistani warring early in the game when we have so many other options because DEFCON's at 4. It's just not really where you want to be. So instead, we've ended up with 4 in Lao, which is okay. So they either have to spend a high ops card to kick us out. They don't know that we've got sweet, or very few ops, I should say. So they don't know that whatever Thailand coup we might come up with is going to be really bad. So for them, the opportunity cost of queuing with a high ops card in Lao might seem prohibitive. So they've gone with the 1-op coup on Panama. Okay, interesting. I'm really quite tempted to sock gov here, but I'm not going to take the bait. I'm just going to go into Thailand, I think. I mean, we could have gone to multiple places there, but forcing them to spend a 3, I think, is good. They haven't used terribly high ops cards yet, so, you know, odds are that they've probably got A4, or at least another couple of 3s, particularly since we didn't have Comecon de Gaulle or Suez. There's a decent chance they've got one of those. They could obviously also have our 3s. But making them use the China card on turn 1 is exactly what I wanted to do with that play, and I feel really quite good about that. So, in that case, let's see, why don't we just even up country count? No, the one in there is just so bad. I do want to even up country count, but I think doing it this way is probably better. And at least gives us the flexibility to take Burma. Yeah, we'll just try and keep them off scoring Asia domination for as long as we can this turn. I know that we haven't got presence in the Middle East, I'm keenly aware of that, but I don't want to go into Lebanon until DEFCON goes down to 3. And DEFCON may not go down to 3 this turn, which may not be altogether bad for us. Okay, the fact that they're playing Suez Crisis is good since we have France. So we're not going to be able to, with our low ops, stop their domination because they have now 3 battlegrounds to our 0. So I think we want a UN intervention, AI war. Or do we? Well, maybe we place. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to our 3. So with 2 ops, the max we could do is take Philippines. Yeah, look, what are our options? Our options are to break North Korea. Without a 3 ops card, we can't break one of these countries and take it. It's just really hard to fight this here. At least if we break North Korea, we go there like that. If they do, like, they may not have Asia scoring, so we'll just not ideal, but okay. Like, we've got presence in the Middle East, so we could get cooed out here, and that would be not the best. But it would mean that they're not playing Asia scoring this turn, so it's not too bad. Okay. So there goes the Asia scoring. So now I think I want to coup probably because I don't want to get couped out of Lebanon now. So let's coup. We're going to give them Nasser. And then we'll just coup there, I think. Since we've got adjacency to Pakistan from India now anyway. Okay, well, can't complain too much about that. And I mean, I query here whether we probably want the 3 influence, to be honest, because it's pretty important. Depends what happens to space race. I was going to say we might space race here. Still might. Still might. 3 ups is really good, but so are those VPs. UN intervention is a bit of a hand clog, though. Having another 1-ops card in your hand is not always what you want. Yeah, I think we want to give ourselves the best chance to draw good stuff, actually. So now that we know they're not going to space, let's just place some influence with this. So let's go... they've still got overprotection in the Eastern European battlegrounds. So I think we'll go... We don't want to give them a good coup in Angola next turn. We'll go 1 into Israel. Maybe we just go 2 into Pakistan, actually. Does make IP war pretty good.
The challenge of the 20th century.
But actually I like that. We either get Israel or Pakistan. Sorry, Egypt or Pakistan.
Natural forces.
Okay. So no scoring cards for us again. Containment is going to give us a decent number of ops here. We do have 2 4s though. Duck and cover could be a good headline. It does free them up to repair Pakistan. But I don't mind bagging the VPs.
Lo que puedo responder es que, por lo menos en las condiciones de nuestro país, no había otro camino.
I think I'd rather hold defectors for turn 3. Because I don't think they're going to headline D-Style. They could headline Vietnam Revolts, but I don't really mind too much. And we've got de Gaulle, they don't have Suez Crisis, so I'm not worried about France. So, and we've got Korean War. They could headline IP War. That's really the only thing I'm worried about. But I think containment and duck and cover are better. And I think we'll go with containment. Cool. Well, there's our defectors anyway, I suppose. Yes, of course, when we're thinking of good early war headlines, probably Red Scare is one to be aware of, isn't it? Okay, so it looks like they've probably got Europe scoring. So we're going to hold de Gaulle to discard to the blockade that they're presumably going to try and trap us into here. They haven't really got good coups. They also haven't really got good ops placement options, but I think taking Pakistan there was actually pretty important. And now I'm going to also take some other battlegrounds, I think. We don't really want to get IP ward. That would really suck, actually, here. So maybe we go... this instead. And then if they take Pakistan, we still get the coup, but this way we haven't really got too much. We're a bit less at risk. Like it's 1 in 3 rather than them having 1 in 2 shots at India and Pakistan. Well, at Pakistan particularly. Yeah, I think I like that more. Knowing that we lose Greece for brush war reasons, but we'll just make sure that we take Spain, Portugal in terms of this ongoing fight. We also, had we got the containment off without the Red Scare, would have considered trying to get some Truman Doctrine pain happening in East Germany or Poland, and might still do that depending on if they play East European unrest this turn. And if they do, then yeah, we'll try and jam some in there in the last action round, and then Truman Doctrine. See what happens. It may, yeah, we'll see how we go. We may decide that we'd rather headline defectors than Truman anyway, though. But, you know, causing problems in Eastern Europe is never a bad thing as the US. So I presume that they want to use IP war to get their victory points. Sorry, their military operations this turn, which is the only real explanation I can see for. Wow, D-star for influence. Okay, interesting. So trying to fork us on Europe, which I'm not really too worried about. We'll just do this. Even up the Middle East, if they want to coup Egypt, go ahead. But we're just, they've invested so many ops now in Europe, I'm just not going to let them get away without giving us those VPs. And we can also try, if they don't coup, to flip this into a positive Middle East scoring. Okay, so giving us NORAD, which is pretty big. Happy with that. So we'll take Pakistan now and no, we won't. We'll put 1 in Pakistan and 2 in Egypt, and then we'll try and flip this Middle East scoring situation around. We could have also baited in France a little bit, potentially, but it really wasn't worth leaving Europe hanging, as in like we could have put not quite enough to control France in the hope that they'd then fight us for it. But I think the state of the non-battleground countries was such that they were never going to do that. Like they were always just going to let us have it. Or, yeah, they were never going to think that they were going to control it, I guess, when the scoring card was played. And that if they did, it would make a difference to domination because we just had so much of an advantage in the non-battleground countries. That really the likely outcome, if we just played 1 or 2 into France, would be that they would just play the scoring card or that they would leave it alone. Okay. So I'm tempted to punt defectors to take Pakistan here. But I think I'm not gonna. I think I might play the China card actually. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna hold the Korean War. We'll do it like that. Dominate in Asia. We'll hold Korean War. We might hold Korean War and De Gaulle through the reshuffle, just to make sure that we get some positive opportunities for scoring. And we'll try and take Canada and Afghanistan, I think, before the end of the turn, although we might move into Libya, given that they're going to get the coup. And that will flip it to positive. Okay, so it looks like they might have CIA and not a scoring card, I assume. I mean, they could have played CIA earlier in the turn. They had plenty of action rounds. Not quite sure. So we can space either Korean and War of de Gaulle, but I don't really want them coming back, is the thing, for turn 3. And I think I'm more worried about them coming back than I am about not having defectors, I think. Got pretty good opportunities for no redding. I mean, we could have more, but I think there's enough stuff going on here. Do we go, I think we go 1, 2 for now. And then we've got Truman for the last hour. They already tried space this time. Looks, yeah. Okay, so they did give us an EU. Interesting. Yugoslavia can go. When did they put one in Yugoslavia? Back there. Okay, interesting. So depending on if we draw a captured Nazi scientist here, we can try and get some other action happening. Yep, so we'll just play this and take Libya for domination, I think. So the only scoring card that came out was Asia, which means that they've got Middle East and Europe now. So we got defectors back. We've got blockade to get rid of de Gaulle. I think we probably need to defectors in case they red scare, because otherwise we're a bit stuffed here. Because they know that we've got blockade. So we're just defectors. Yeah. And we're happy to, I think, CNS in an action round. So I think they've got a coup in the Middle East now. And then we can just grief them, like we can just play one into Iran, we can start playing into Europe and do all sorts of annoying stuff. And then eventually we'll okay.
Sobre la cuestión acerca de si la lucha armada es el único camino para la liberación, lo que puedo responder es que
so
por lo menos en las
do we want to
condiciones de nuestro país
overprotect
no había otro camino.
France? Or do we want to get into range of flipping Thailand? But we've given them back the China card, or do we want to overprotect? I think we overprotect Pakistan. So we need to do something in the Middle East because they've got the scoring card and we don't want them to score for domination. So we'll go place 2 in Iran, possibly. So we're, what, 2 countries ahead currently in Europe? We don't really want to give them Comic-Con for no reason then. I think we'll just take Jordan, actually.
That men and nations can cooperate.
And then we're threatening to take
And
Saudi.
there are no international problems
If they take Iraq,
which men of goodwill cannot solve or adjust.
also makes AI war just a little bit worse. So, I mean, it would have been nice if they'd rolled a 1 on the coup, but, you know, that's asking a lot. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with Indo-Pakistani war out of the way to be sitting on, you know, pretty strong positions in India and Pakistan, considering they have the China card and we're going to be able to get rid of Korean war now. Okay, so action round 2. We're probably going to have to give them domination, so I think we just start causing problems in Eastern Europe. Or spacing stuff. I think we'll cause them some more problems in Eastern Europe for one more action round, probably. So if we go on into East Germany, yeah, we know. I mean, we know they've got CIA. We know they've got. What do we want to do? We want to go into Angola at some point in the turn. We want to go into. Then we want to get to Zaire. It's just really unfortunate that we don't have the ops to fight for the Middle East a little better. Maybe we can give them Comic-Con and just do this. I just really don't want them to be able to score Europe for domination. Well, or to prevent us scoring Europe for domination, I should say. We're getting awfully close to that happening. I think we'll just, yeah, cause them to have to keep repairing stuff for as long as we can. Just by keeping on breaking their countries. I mean, we've got only one more action round that we can do that, but who knows what they've got, what else they've got in hand. And they don't know that we can only do it for one more action round. I mean, we could do it for more, but we actually constructively can't because we can't play De Gaulle and we don't want to play Korean War. Okay, so no brush war on Italy, that's nice. And special relationship is supercharged, but they've played it, I think. Haven't they? Yep. So I don't really care too much about that. I think we'll just... do that. Just to stop them taking it. I mean... yeah, it just, again, brings it too close if we let them flip that with a 3-up card. I mean, they are going to score Middle East, and they're going to score Middle East and score Europe. Unless they've got 5-year plan. If they have 5-year plan, I'm going to be fuming. Okay, so let's just get some victory points happening. And then we'll try and get some more happening. Of course, we know that they've got CIA, so they can't have 5-year plan Europe scoring. Okay. So we can potentially get to Man in Space if we want to space Comic-Con, but I don't think we do. Cool. So let's go place 1. 2, 3, I think. We could have gone into Afghanistan there, but I'm more interested in taking Algeria, I think, given the balance of countries at the moment in those 2 regions. Yeah, so it's always going to be unfortunate after a Marshall Plan opening when Europe only gets scored once, but, you know, c'est la vie, at least we managed to get through the early war without losing any of the battlegrounds. Okay. So pretty reasonable hand. We can get back Red Scare. We need to deal with this, but SALT negotiations helps a lot with that. We need to fix up this Southeast Asia scoring, so I think Brush War might be nice. We can also bear trap in order to take the coup. We can bear trap and then salt and then coup Thailand, but it doesn't feel amazing. Since we have Africa scoring, I'm more tempted to bear trap, just so that we can just bank some points from this. And then we can brush war Thailand anyway in an action round. Yeah, I think that's the right way to go. Okay, it's a real pain. I was considering going to Mexico for that reason, but didn't, unfortunately. Great, that's really good. So now we can go... We don't want to play Flower Power first. So unfortunately, we're probably going to have to salt negotiations, but we don't want to die to lone gunman. So... the options are to play independent reds, I think is the best option, and go like this. And then we get 6 VPs in the bank from Africa scoring, and I'm pretty happy with that. And then hopefully we can flip Thailand. If not, then we'll just have to spend a few ops over that way. Because we'll brush war anyway, and then at that point we'll be more willing. Okay, this is going well. So we can actually now take some more VPs. So it's actually worth 2 VPs for us to take Nigeria and Zaire here. And then we can also, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's actually just too strong to ignore. To get 11 points, I think we'll just do that, even though it's going to give them 2 back from the brush war. We'll just cop that. We took their junta, which you can't really complain about. Where'd they throw junta after colonial regards? They must have an amazing hand. Pardon me. So that's good. Now they get a coup, but we can brush war and potentially salt negotiations for it as well if we're really feeling the need.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal.
Even though we're giving them 2 VPs each time with flower power, I think flipping Thailand is worth it.
Returning him safely to the earth.
Having the opportunity to. And we also are happy to just then dump this lone gunman after. Okay, cool. Well, I think we'll just dump lone gunman anyway then. So, question. What to do? It's very interesting. Whether we brush one now, we can actually then, we can salt for junta, I think is pretty strong. I mean, they might have Asia scoring. If we play Lone Gunman, we give up the Southeast Asia scoring gambit a little bit. Yeah, I do think we are going to brush war Thailand, and then we might salt for it if we fail. Otherwise, we'll salt for junta. And either way, Lone Gunman, I think, will be our action round after that. So let's do that anyway. I know that we're giving up the VPs, but so be it. Okay, unfortunate. So now, yeah, I mean, query whether we salt for brush war, ABM, or hunter. We could have actually just salted for ABM, that might have been better. Well, now we play Lone Gunman because it gets DEFCON down. But that looks like they've got Asia scoring. No, I think we just have to do this. Because salting, we give them the opening for Asia scoring anyway. And this way, if they coup... Oh, we can just coup and get influence in with NORAD. Yep, either way, we get one from NORAD. Cool. This is good. Either way, we get to break Pakistan this action round. Either they coup or we coup. And then we're salting for... Probably, yeah, it's got to be Hunter, Brush, or Missile NV. So we'll coup Iran. Plays into Pakistan. Then if they've got Asia scoring, they've only got one more action round to make use of it. And then we get to play our Southeast Asia scoring last. So we've run out of time to actually really make use of the salt for the Southeast Asia scoring, which is very unfortunate.
So, my fellow Americans, ask not what your
so we're just...
country can do for you. Ask what you can
do we get a VP back by playing into the Philippines? No, I think it's too good to just play the salt. So we'll... yeah, because salt here is a hunter or an ABM. Yeah, it's unfortunate that we had to get rid of that Lone Gunman. Maybe we didn't. Maybe we hold Lone Gunman instead, and we should have salted just to really fight for Thailand before we played Southeast Asia scoring. But anyway, I think we've just got to cop it now. And then just really hope they don't have Asia scoring in their last, or I'm just going to absolutely shoot myself. And then the decision is which one. It's not going to be Brush War now, definitely. So it's Hunter or ABM. I think it's Hunter since South America's unscored. Okay, don't mind the VPs from that. Definitely. So we'll put DEFCON up to 5 since they can't coup us in Europe. And we haven't got any good coup targets anyway. So we'll take Hunter. We got D-Style, Suez Crisis. Probably would have liked to have spaced OPEC last turn, so we didn't end up with, 4 USSR cards in our hand, but that's okay. Lots of good options for sending DEFCON to 2 here. But we're going to hold Hunter for later. We're going to headline... Latin American Death Squad is not very good to headline here. All the USSR cards are bad to headline. We want to be able to use the ops from this. We could Cuban Missile Crisis. Yeah, actually, I quite like headline Cuban Missile Crisis, actually, and then we can AR1 Hunter and spread. Yep. The thing is, we'd have to junta into Uruguay and then take the punt on relaying them out of Cuba. But the other option is just to try and reline them in an action round before playing junta. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Even though it means we don't get the NORAD influence this turn. I'm okay with that. I think saving our Africa position for a whole nother turn is pretty good. And hope that we know that they're holding on to this CIA created. So forcing them to, well, not allowing them to play it at high defcon is also good. Awesome. Cool. Well, we got there in the end. Managed to survive what was looking like, I think, 16 VPs at one point. But yeah, worked out well. Managed DEFCON and I think managed the threats we had in our hand pretty well. So all in all, pretty happy with the game. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.